Hi everyone, and welcome back to the MRE Security YouTube channel. My name is Evan Isaac, and today we'll be looking at Section 7 of the API Security 2024 CTF. In this video, we'll be taking a look at Uber orcs. The first challenge is, did someone order a flag? The orcs gotta eat, right? Luckily, Soren is always there to help every orc with their needs, and he included coupons. What a guy. So there is a URL here, and let's access it to see what we have. And we can see that there are quite a few different endpoints. This is something new that we haven't seen within the CTF before. So the first endpoint that we can take a look at is listing all of the restaurants available. So let's head on over to our terminal, and we'll just do a curl request to this endpoint. So we'll grab the URL here, and we'll do a slash as well as the restaurants endpoint. Taking a look, it looks like we have 5, 0 through 4. So we can access all these kind of restaurants using the ID, which we can find here. But we will want to most likely list the menus for each restaurant. So let's head over here and let's use a get request and just start plugging in the different kind of identifiers. So we'll do ID of 1, or sorry, ID of 0. We could see, and we could also do attack S and JQ, visually see everything, make it a bit more cleaner to view. And we could see that there's not much here, just looks like a bunch of stuff that we don't really care too much about. So we'll head on over to, let's see, 1, and also it looks like almost the exact same stuff as before. But however, looking at maybe 2, we do see that there are different kinds of things that we have, and we also have a flag here. Because of this flag, we see that the price is $1,000. So we're going to need to figure out a way to exploit this, right? So we can retrieve the flag. And the first thing that we're most likely going to want to do is look at the different kinds of endpoints that we have. And we can see that there is a coupons endpoint based on the hour. So submit an hour as an integer from 1 to 24. So we could take on this coupon endpoint and see what we have to offer. Head back on over to our command, and we'll just modify the endpoint to say coupons hour, and then we'll say, let's see, 1. It looks like there's no coupons available. So once we hit the 20th identifier, so the hour 20, we can see that we do have a $2 off coupon, and it looks like it has a value of 3. Looking at the different kinds of endpoints that we have here, we can see that we also have an order. So we can order a specific item from a menu and use a coupon against it based on the hour. So we can schedule essentially an order. So we'll take this on over and let's see what we can work with. So let's go over to our curl request. We'll modify this ID. So we're going to be ordering from number 5, it looks like. So let's go over here to number 5. And we're going to want to do a tag X at the front, which will be a post because we're doing a post request. We'll want to do a tag H for headers, and we'll do a content type application JSON. We're also going to want to do a tag data, and we will supply it with our different kinds of values. So the first one that we have is the time. And we know that the time is going to be 20 because the coupons is 20. And if we look back over here, the coupons is based on the hour. So since we're looking at the 20th hour, safe to assume that we're going to need to also use the time as the 20th hour. We're going to need the menu item ID. So let's look at the menu item ID, which it looks like it's 5. So, excuse me, it looks like it's 2 because this is the menu. So we'll come back down here. And we'll modify this to 2. So we'll change this to 2. And we'll change the coupon ID, which we can see right above there, is set to 3. So we'll just change it over to 3. When we run this, let's see if anything happens. Invalid item ID. So it doesn't look like that worked. Let's modify the restaurant as well as the menu item as well. Let's just modify both them. So this is the restaurant ID of 2. This is the menu ID, which is 5. We scroll back up. Here's the menu ID, which is 5. When we click enter, let's see what happens. And we see that the coupon was successful, right? We get 2% off, or sorry, $2 off. And sorry, the flag is not free. You owe us some money, as well as the total dropped down by $2. So it looks like that this is correct, but for whatever reason, we are still being charged a lot of money, and we don't have that money in our bank account. At least I don't. Maybe you do, but I do not. So let's try to figure out a different way to maybe bypass this. Something that you can always try when it comes to an e-commerce website or store, something along those lines, is you could try to just spam it with a race condition. This case, it's not a race condition, so we're not going to try that. But what you can try is you could see different kinds of delimiters. And what I mean by that is you can set it to, let's say, 3 and then just put another 3, for instance. And we can click enter. We can see that 33 is not a valid ID. So that's not really going to work. Sometimes a delimiter can be a semicolon, a period, a colon, anything like that. So we could try a semicolon and see if it works. And we see that it is actually reflecting the value, but it's not showing anything. So that's not going to work. Maybe we could do 3, 3. And we could see that we get 4% off now, or $4 off now. And the value went down another $4. So it's safe to assume that this is probably our way of retrieving the flag. So what we can do now is we can maybe do just a bunch of 3s. So 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. And we'll just keep going until we reach 0. All right. And after putting in a ton of different 3s, we can press enter and we can see that we did retrieve the flag. API sec, perhaps you should consider a wallet. This was the first challenge done. So let's head on over to our notes and let's submit the flag here. So the second challenge says, this is why we can't have nice things. Apparently someone found a way to bypass the coupon system. Now we've limited to 1 coupon per customer. We can see what we're working with. And it looks like it's the exact same endpoints, just the application appears to be different by the URL. So what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to go through all the steps over again. So we'll do the restaurants. So we'll do a curl on the Uber, and we'll just change this to Uber Orcs 2, and we'll supply it a restaurants, and we'll supply the restaurants endpoint. We click enter. We see that we again have 5. So we could try to do the same thing, which is the third endpoint, and we'll go over here, 3/menu, and we can see that we don't have a flag item in here. So we now need to find the flag item. So we'll go through each one just to see where the flag item is located. And it looks like it may be located in the restaurant number 4. So it looks like that the item is 7 and the restaurant ID is 4, but we also need the coupon. So let's head back on over to our command and we'll do a coupons/1, 2, and we'll keep going down the list until we find the coupon. So we found the coupon. It looks like it was the hour 12, so the 12th hour. And we could do the exact same command that we did before. So we could do attack X with the post, and we have all this crazy data, but we're not going to use any of these 3s. And we're going to modify the menu items to be 7 as well as the time to be 12. We'll modify the restaurant to be 4 as well as just the URL. So we're pointing to the correct URL. And we see that the coupon, it has a value of 2. So let's just change the value to 2, click enter, and we see no coupon is provided. So this is a bit weird. Let's go back over to our command and see what we've done wrong. And it looks like that it only has a coupon, not coupons. So let's quickly modify this to say coupon. And we can see that we do get the $2 off, and we do need more money. So let's try the same exploit again by doing a comma and then a 2 there. And we can see that only 1 coupon allowed per order. Now, like I said, there may be a different delimiter. So let's try to do, let's see, a semicolon. Looks like we broke JQ. So let's just take that out and let's see what happens. And we see we get an internal server error. So that's obviously not right. What if we tried to do maybe a colon? Say JQ also failed. So I'm assuming that didn't work. A period, that also didn't work. So what if we just don't put anything in it? We see that there didn't need to be a delimiter, that we can just easily just add another 2 and we get $2 off again. So what we can do now is we could just spam a bunch of 2s to the server and we could see if we do get the flag. Now that we have enough coupons, we can click enter and we can see that we retrieved the second flag, API sec too many coupons. So let's head back on over to our notes and submit the flag. And that's all for today's episode. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Helps me out to create more content related to API security as well as application security. Here we have the final challenge for the API Security 2024 CTF. It's called Mu API. This was by far the most challenging of the bunch when it comes to difficulty. So please take your time with this. I'm probably not going to post a video for at least a week and a half, 2 weeks related to this challenge because it's so difficult. So just try it out. Let me know what you think about it. And if you did manage to figure it out, let me know in the comments down below. But this is a multi-step application that you need to figure out and find the flags for. That'll be the end for this episode. I hope you did enjoy. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.